is just simply AA. Not alcohol, like anonymous. AA represents angle, angle. Because I don't really technically need angle, angle, angle. I don't need AAA. We don't need roadside service. Because if I already have the two, then the third one already comes along with it. Okay, so your angle, angle similarity says if two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of another triangle, then the two triangles are similar. There's a lot of chatting going on over here. I feel like this is the 5th time I'm saying something to you guys. So if we had, let's say this triangle down here was triangle ABC, and this was DEF. If angle A was shown congruent to angle D, and angle B was congruent to angle E, yep, please do that. Then I could say that my triangles are similar. So I could say triangle ABC is similar to triangle A would match up with D, B would match up with E, and then F by angle, angle similarity. Okay. So all I need to look for, which is pretty easy, is just two congruent angles. Then you'll have enough information to say that your angles or your triangles are similar. Okay. All right. Can I erase this?
Yes.
All right. So first example. Do you have one set of congruent angles? Where? 90-degree angles gives me one set of congruent angles. Now I see a 64 and a 26, which are not the same. Someone do some fancy math to find the measure of angle E. What is it?
Hold on. 90.
No.
64.
64. So angle E is 64 degrees. Now do you have two congruent angles? Yes. So determine whether they are similar. Yes. If so, write a similarity statement. So I'm going to go triangle CDE would be similar to what matches up with C on the other side.
Okay.
Okay. D would match up with G,
G.
and then E would be with H. Good. Questions with that one?
How do you know?
What do you mean, how do I know?
How do you know
Wait.
if it's A by AA?
It's only going to be, I said that's the only theorem that you are only going to have.
Can you explain how we got 64?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the reason why? By angle, angle, similarity. And since that's the only theorem we are going to be using, it's always going to be angle, angle. So it's either yes by angle, angle, or no. Angle, angle. Not if it's no. If it's no, it's no. All right, looking at the next one. Do you have one set of congruent angles? Yes, I see a 65 and a 65-degree angle, which are congruent to each other. Do I have another congruent angle?
Yes.
Does everybody see the two overlapping triangles? Like there's a triangle on the top, and then there's the big triangle. So is there a vertex that both those triangles have in common? Where? E, up at the top, right? Don't they both have E inside that triangle? Because you have an E in the little one and you have an E in the top one. What property says that E is congruent to itself? What property says anything's congruent to itself? It's reflexive property. So if you guys remember, back in chapter 4, we were using the reflexive property a lot when we had that line going straight down our triangle. Now we're going to be using the reflexive property when I have overlapping triangles like this, where they share a common vertex. So I'm going to say yes, they're similar. So triangle, if I go PEA, is going to be similar to P matches up with T, E with E, C matches up, or A matches up with C by angle, angle, similarity.
Oh.
Okay, questions with that one? Okay. Number 3. Do I have one set of congruent angles? Yes. Do I have a second set? Where? The vertical angles are going to be congruent. So I've already got 2 sets, so that's good. So I'm going to say yes, they're similar. So triangle ABE is similar to triangle A matches up with C, then BD by angle, angle, similarity. Can you put it away, please? All right, on to the back. Here we go. Now, do we remember our rules that we use to solve proofs?
Yes.
What's the first thing you should always start with? Given. What's the second thing you should look for?
Reflective or transitive.
Try again. Reflexive and something else. Vertical.
Or vertical, that's what I meant to say.
So line 1 should always be a given. 2, we should be looking for vertical angles or the reflexive property.
If bisected or midpoint.
Then here we're looking for keywords or symbols. And then your last line should be your prove line. And in this case, your prove line will always end with angle, angle, because that's the only theorem we have. All right, so get your T-chart set up.
Oh, Miss Crowley, why are you bringing us back to proofs?
Because that's what geometry is all about.
I'm not even good at these things.
I know, but you're going to like these because they're so easy. So we're given that angle S is congruent to angle W. Given. I'm filling this out at the same time. Okay, line 1, done. Line 2, we're looking for vertical angles or reflexive property. What are we going to get here?
Vertical angles.
Vertical angles. Can someone correctly name my vertical angles?
Vertical SVV. I mean
SUV. So if you go SUV, then it would be WUT. Good. What's my if then that I'm writing? Good. Now, like I said, the only theorem that we are going to talk about in this class is angle, angle, which means I only need 2 sets of congruent angles shown in my proof. Do I have 2 sets of congruent angles?
Yes.
Yeah, 1, 2. So I'm done. Last line is your prove line. So say that triangle SUV is similar to triangle TUW because of angle, angle, similarity. Done. Was that hard? No. All right, let's look at the next one. Is everybody good? Nate, what did I just say? Thank you. Set up your T-chart. Statements on the left, reasons on the right. Line 1, JK is parallel to GH. Given. Do I have vertical angles in this? No. Doesn't look like a bow tie. I always think that vertical angles make it look like a bow tie. So this is not a bow tie diagram. So that means my second line should be reflexive. In this case, my reflexive property needs to be congruent angles. Where is the angle that is shared? The top, F. So angle F is congruent to angle F. Next thing, keywords or symbols in the given. What symbol is in the given? Parallel. So now we got to think. If parallel lines, then what? Well, we're going to get congruent angles, but we need to figure out what type of congruent angles. So I'm either going to have alternate interior or I'm going to have corresponding. It's going to be corresponding in this case. Then corresponding angles are congruent. So now let's try to figure them out. If these are my parallel lines and this is my transversal, notice how angle 1 and angle 2 are the corresponding angles. So those would be the same. So now let's... GFH. Nope, that would get you F up the top. Thanks. Angle 1, because there's two different angles occurring at J, I'm going to call it angle FJK. So angle FJK, Owen. FJK. Now at angle G, Kyle, I can just say G because there is only one angle occurring at G. It would not be incorrect to use 3 letters, but save yourself some time. Now do you have 2 sets of congruent angles?
Yes.
Yes. So we're done. Prove line, which states that my 2 triangles, so triangle JFK is also similar to triangle GFH. And it always is going to end with angle-angle similarity. Okay? All right, number 3. Statements on the left, reasons on the right. Line 1, given. MQ is parallel to OP. Yep, I'm going vertical in this case. Got the bow tie. So name them correctly.
Would it be M and Q?
That would work. So angle MNQ would be congruent to angle what? PNO. Well, you gotta, if M would match up with P on the other side. If vert angles then congruent. I see parallel lines. Am I going to get alternate interior or corresponding here?
Alternate.
Alternate interior, yes. So if parallel, then alt int angles congruent. Which ones? You got 2 options. Which ones are you going to go with?
Is it OPN?
OPN with
QNM?
yeah, that would work. Me personally, I would just say angle M and angle P because there's only one angle occurring there. Like, do you see how I only have one angle at P? So I would just say angle M is congruent to angle P. It would not be incorrect to use all 3 letters. Or you could have done angle Q and angle O. Yep, now we're done. We got 4 angles. So triangle MNQ is similar to triangle PON, angle, angle.